Francesa presents STP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
You know what?
What?
Anaheim could get swept. I hope Nashville gets swept in one game in the second round.
Why is that, Adam?
I hate them more than I hate St. Louis.
Wow.
Because my already busted bracket is busted-er. Okay?
Oh, buddy, don't even worry about it.
Anything left in the West?
Do I have
Do you have
anyone
anything left?
I don't think... Okay, let's go through the series again, because I don't know if I correctly predicted a series in the West.
I stopped paying attention when the Kings lost because I'm like, that's probably going to end up being pretty bad. I had the Ducks going to the final. There's no point looking at it.
You had the Ducks in the final.
I had them in the final, man. There's no point even looking at my bracket.
No, I know. Somebody actually tweeted us today, though, and they're like, so I'm on top of your bracket standings right now in the Steve Dangle NHL bracket. I'm like, wow, that is mind-blowing. And he's like, but I chose Tampa Bay and Dallas to make it to the final, so facepalm.
Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
Their bracket still has better odds than yours.
He's right.
Yep.
And the only bracket that I correctly chose in the West was Dallas over Minnesota. But I didn't even choose
couldn't have predicted that.
Right. And I think I said, what is it, 5 games or four games? Like, I didn't even get the games right on that. So
I don't know.
Just
like
awful.
I said, stop paying attention when I realized there was no point in winning.
Yeah, there is no point.
If you're not first, you're last. Forget it.
What? How did this... Can we break that down?
The West is totally weird.
How did that happen?
Think about who the Stanley Cup champion is going to be this year, okay? It's either going to be Washington, Pittsburgh, Tampa, the Islanders, the Stars, Blues, Sharks, or Preds.
Right.
There are a lot of first-time winners in there.
Only 3 of those teams that you mentioned have ever won a cup before in franchise history.
Oh, wow. Who is it? Dallas, Pittsburgh,
Oh,
and
no, I might
Tampa.
be 4.
Dallas,
Well,
Tampa, Pittsburgh, and
Islanders.
Islanders. That's right.
Sorry, 4.
So we got a 50% chance of getting a brand new cup champion.
My girlfriend Caprice messaged me the other day, and she's like, she was trying to be all hockey smart. Sometimes she'll just come at me, like, and I know that she's turned on the TV and Sportsnet's on or something like that, because she said the Capitals, the Blues, and the Islanders have all never won a cup before, and they're in the second round. And I said, well, actually, that's not entirely true. The Islanders have won 4, and they won them all in a row. She's like, no, and I said, well, where'd you get that from? She's like,
she said no.
Yeah.
You know what? I gotta praise her for that. She went nuh-uh.
No.
She stuck to her guns.
That's right.
Because what if she was right? How stupid would you look?
Right, exactly. And I said, what sports show are you watching that said that? And she's like, the correct one. She had no idea. Yeah, not this one.
Or
Clearly,
maybe it is.
Maybe
this
it could
one.
be. Yeah, possibly. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I can't sneak any of that by SL anymore.
No, she
Like,
knows stuff.
She's just like now. I let her ask. I don't try to say anything. And her new jam is Hockey Wives.
Oh,
That's her new jam.
That is. Blake loves that show. Everybody that I know that watches that show loves that show.
Don't make fun of me, everyone on Twitter.
What?
It's a good show. Hockey Wives is a good show.
Why would you
Shut
be
up.
made fun of?
Martine Fortier is a delight. That's Jonathan Bernier's wife.
Yes. Yeah.
It was an episode, and it was from earlier in the season, around Christmas time, and he was really struggling, and there was drama, and it was compelling.
I interviewed Carrie Price's wife on Breakfast Television. She's about Hockey Wives.
Forget her name.
But she's extremely
nice,
nice.
too.
Yeah, she's really nice.
Is she a UFC champion?
She's. I don't get it.
Yeah, Adam doesn't know who anyone is when they're not holding a belt.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
Oh my god!
I care only for winners.
Well, you interviewed what's his name?
That
Garth
guy
Brooks or something.
Garth
this morning.
Yeah,
Right?
Garth, former champion.
the
Don't
country
care about his name anymore.
That
Keith Urban, guys. I interviewed Keith Urban this morning.
Exactly.
And who was extraordinarily kind and gracious and awesome.
Once again, for relatively new listeners of the show and or people who don't really live in the GTA, Adam is legitimately famous.
No, that's not true at all.
Adam is legitimately
That's not even
famous.
close to- that is-
What type of reaction did you get when you were on BT once?
I saw you on BT the other day. I saw you on Breakfast Television.
Oh, no,
Do you know who's on that every day? Adam Wilde.
Tell Jesse what you told me on the phone last night about your friend's mother.
Okay, so
because it's, by the way, Steve has this thing, and I'm going to set this up, and then I'm going to let you take
to
it.
hockey. Don't worry.
Steve has this thing where people ask Steve what he does, and he has to go into a kind of a long description as to what it is he does.
Well, you ever heard of the internet?
Yeah. And so his mom, God bless her, has to do the same explanation to people all the time. But
he does these videos.
Yeah,
and
they're
to
sort
her
of popular.
friends, I think it just sounds like I'm unemployed.
Right, totally. and it's not true, but it's what it sounds like. So now that he's been on breakfast television, his mother could say, well, he was on breakfast television the other day talking about the videos. Boom, legitimate.
Boom. And so a friend of ours is getting married.
Okay.
Soon. So they're having a bridal shower. So we had to bring some chairs to the mother of the groom's house for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, listen, I'm just
There's a really good aspect of the story. Don't worry, Jesse, it's coming. It's coming.
I'm just
Tell me more about the chairs. What type of chairs were they?
They were black fold-up chairs like in the WWE.
They were from IKEA. I put them together myself. Don't ask how. It was
For
a tough
as
weekend.
good as the chairs were,
That's
how
as bad this story is.
Been that. Too far.
Mrs. Dangle says, carry these things, and I say, okay, and I bring them to wherever she tells me to go, all right? So anyway, the mom goes, saw you on TV the other day. I go, oh, yeah? And here's the thing, you don't... Let me finish! Damn it!
And that's where the story ends. Oh, yeah. Cool.
And then it turns out she's from St. Louis, and then I went home and got new friends. That's how the story ends.
Mom, am I going to get to play wrestling? Yeah.
Go ahead.
I go, yeah, because what I sometimes say is thank you. But just saying I saw you on TV isn't necessarily a compliment. I saw you on TV, and I was really confused as to why you were talking about zoo crap. That's exactly what she could have said, but she didn't. So I said, yeah, instead of thank you. She goes, yeah, it was good. Now I can say thank you.
That's nice.
Who's your friend? Who's your friend? Kyle.
Kyle?
And I go, Adam Wilde? She goes, yeah. Yeah, the one, he looks like Matt Damon.
Oh.
Which I said, I have never gotten that one before. The best I ever get is Donny Osmond.
No,
I get Donny Osmond. I do not see Matt Damon, but I get Donny Osmond is what I always get.
Mr.
You look like
Boston
Donny. It's
over
always
here.
my mom's friends when they've been drinking a little too much. You look a little like Donny Osmond circa 1975.
And now we are at Adam's demographic. He is legitimately famous in a different demographic.
That's the thing, though. If I was actually famous, they would know that I'm not Kyle. So I'm not actually famous, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. It's just I'm the guy who happens to be on that show with Dina and Kevin.
Whatever.
That's what it is.
Question.
Yeah.
How often you hang out with your mom's friends while they're drinking?
Story for another episode, sir. Anyway,
Alanis Morissette drinks?
Does she?
I didn't say she did. I said her friends do.
Huh.
I also love when your story slipped into Manitowoc County Jail. Yeah.
I
You
didn't
gonna watch
know it.
wrestling today?
Will I be home for WrestleMania?
I didn't know it.
So, all right. We've got a second round that started last night when the first round
reasons.
ended. What reasons are there? Is it because they're afraid of the NBA playoffs?
Scheduling.
No, I think it was, you know what? This all would have been fine. It's the damn Ducks and Predators' fault, actually. You okay?
Okay.
Senka, you dying?
Shut up, my mic.
Okay. So anyway, no, because the Ducks and Preds started late. So of course they went 7. Of course they went 7. And I kind of liked that the NHL was like, well, instead of having, the Stanley Cup final push even later than it already goes, let's just start round 2. Let's just go. The West starts after the East. Let's start round 2. Let's go. I kind of admire that. And you know what? The Preds...
You admire it? I admonish. I admonish it. But we'll get to that in a second.
But now the Preds are somewhat penalized for finishing late because the team that they play, fresh as a daisy.
Well,
Or even
rusty.
more so than usual. Or rusty. Could be rusty. You never know. I find those narratives never really actually matter.
No.
They only matter when they fit. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and the thing is that
They're either fresh or rusty.
if you're, the thing is, if you're crafting a story, you have to say something. You can't say, well, they're about what you assume. That's not a good article.
What we think happened.
We talked about that with Mr. Simmons.
We did.
Many moons ago.
Absolutely.
And basically, like, if you write every single day, I'm not convinced you can do a great job of it. Because at some point, you got to just kind of pull stuff out of thin air.
Right. The key is...
Unless you're an absolute genius.
Thank God, I don't only do hockey. I'm always thankful of that in my career because I think about it on the Blake and Wild show. The amount of different areas that we pull stories from, right? It's not just sports. It's sometimes, guys, sports is boring. Sometimes the Leafs don't have a story, and yet you've got to write an article. So that's tough. So that's why you get these narratives, right?
Not even boring, but it runs its course.
Yeah.
All right, we're done now. What's the new thing?
Exactly.
Let's talk about something else.
Right. Like the hot dog sandwich debate, which, by the way, don't worry. We're done. We're done.
We're done. I'm done.
I want to know.
Never done.
I want to know now that at least mine is significantly busted. I'm sure. Jesse, how's your bracket doing?
Yeah, I had Anaheim in the final.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, I had Chicago in the finals. Still holding out hope for whoever the heck I picked in the East. I don't even know.
That's how unpredictable the playoffs are. How did I bet against the Blackhawks, come out on top there, and still be screwed?
Yeah.
It's not fair.
So here's what we got. We got the Islanders up 1-0 on Tampa Bay, which is really surprising.
Eventful game.
Yeah.
Eventful game. They had a huge lead, almost caved with the huge almost comeback, and Jack Capuano got a puck in the fudge. Good for him.
Right in the fudge.
Oh, that sucks.
It sure does.
It reminded me, young Avery on Twitter reminded me, remember when Pat Quinn got like a puck in the face twice in 1 week? And he was on the bench with double black eyes and a Band-Aid.
Yes. Wasn't one of them in practice or both of them practice?
I think one was practice, one was in the middle of a game.
Right.
And he's just standing there looking like a raccoon.
And I also remember
really angry raccoon.
When he got really sick in the playoffs, returned to the bench, or was sick later in the season, returned to the bench, and he was like 30 pounds lighter. Pat Quinn went through some stuff on the Leafs.
The mighty Quinn.
Holy smokes. And just Irished his way through it all.
He really did.
You know, just gritted his teeth and said, I don't have feelings.
I was looking
I only have hockey.
I have hockey and that's it. I still remember this picture from a magazine, and it's just a close-up of him looking Pat Quinn into the camera. And my goal, to go to Salt Lake City and come home with a gold medal and a smile. Okay, maybe just a gold medal. And then he did.
And a pack of gum, too, because he was always chewing gum.
And a pack of gum. But no, I was looking at that picture of him with the two black eyes, and I was just like, they don't make him like that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's a whatever model that is. They don't make that model anymore.
No.
The Pat Quinn model.
It's funny, you know, you see... The best part, I think, about the Stanley Cup playoffs is when it's a game-changing goal, or it's a game-winning goal, or a series-winning goal, and they cut to the bench of the winning team, and the coaches are going nuts, the players are going nuts. I remember watching the Leafs play the Senators and the Leafs winning, and Pat Quinn not even raising an arm. Like, he just was like stoic about the whole thing.
Like Buddy from NCAA this year. Like crazy buzzer-beating shot, and he's just like, you know, he's going to do his taxes.
Yeah.
I think I left the stove on.
Nailed it and walked away with no smile on his face. You won the championship, dude.
Nailed it.
Smile.
See ya.
Good enough. He didn't need to celebrate.
No.
So, Islanders-Tampa series.
Yes.
Something that, it's an interesting matchup because you really don't know. You still don't know fully what Tampa is. You still don't know fully what the Islanders are. You really don't. Like you see greats. You see great things. You see tremendous weakness.
They don't have a starting goaltender.
Yeah, like both teams
goal.
are like there are question marks here, but they could do great things.
But here is the great tiebreaker. Who is the one team that I really disrespected?
The Islanders.
Into the playoffs. Islanders. I said I'm not afraid of the Islanders, and I said it multiple times throughout the season, and here they are, 11 wins shy of the Stanley Cup.
Doesn't sound like that much, does it? 11 wins shy.
Just 11 wins.
Just
it's
11
just 11 wins.
I mean...
Oh, you're fine.
Right, exactly.
You got it.
Then we got the Caps and the Penguins, which is the series that the NHL and the NHL fans deserve.
Yes, and the rest of them, no one's even going to watch.
No one cares.
No one cares. That's
got
what Twitter told me.
Captain Canada against the evil Russian Empire.
Did you know
because,
that-
of course.
Did you know that Canadians don't watch hockey when there's no Canadian teams?
I didn't realize that. No.
It's true. It's like we only have like heat vision
Right.
and everything just goes cold and we just can't see. We're like, duh, where's the hockey?
I get sometimes the dependence on local. I get that. And especially we in the media put a tremendous amount of importance on local. We put too much importance on local.
Yeah.
People do care about what's going on outside of their city. They care about what's happening inside their city, but also outside of it. There's room for both.
I like how Game 7 of the Blues and Blackhawks was like 3 days ago, and we're like, but who's going to watch? Everyone was watching that game.
Of course.
There was another game going on at the time, and people were watching that game. That's how much that game mattered. Entertain people. Entertain people.
Are you not entertained?
Were Canucks fans and Bruins fans the only fans watching that series?
No,
in
I
2011?
can
don't
say
think so.
for sure that a bunch of Calgary Flames fans were watching it because I had just moved to Calgary when that series happened, and they were in the bars going F the Canucks.
Cheering so hard for the Bruins.
Flames fans hate Canucks fans. You know what? It's almost like Flames and Oilers fans. I don't know. I can't really speak on behalf of Oilers fans, but it's Flames fans have developed a somewhat of at least of a respect for Oilers fans, right? There's like a, you know what? We're going to go to battle and I hate you, but I respect you. Damn it, Ron Burgundy, I hate you, but I respect you. But when it comes to the Canucks fans, it's like Canucks and Calgary fans, man, there's hatred there. They straight up disrespect.
A little bit of groundskeeper Willie going on there.
Yeah.
Like the Scots and the English, and the Scots and the Irish, and the Scots and the Welsh, and the Scots and the Scots. Damn Scots, ruining Scotland. Damn Oilers fans, they're ruining Alberta.
It's true. All right. So we got obviously the Caps and the Penguins is going to be a great series. I hope it doesn't end up like Game 7 of the last series that they played.
That would suck.
Because we still remember it, and that was like a second round series.
I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Blues and Stars. I think low-key could be a fan-freaking-tastic series.
I think part of that depends on Tyler Seguin returning. Because, Dallas, you'd have a hard time convincing me they're the favorite over St. Louis. Without Seguin, it's even harder to convince me of that. I just don't see it. They don't have the goaltending. Corey Crawford had a fantastic season, was probably robbed of a Vezina nomination, Adam, and called him Croffle. How dare you?
Did I say Croffle?
I think I said that.
Okay,
I think
good.
a lot of people say that.
Oh my God.
And they're wrong because this year
I bet
fantastic.
Corey Crawford is a great guy and he is a fantastic goalie.
I bet he's Croffle.
Oh, wow.
No. He's great. But now their competition is one of Kari Lettinen or Antti Niemi. The Blues, barring a huge injury, should eat the Stars alive. They just should. Which means congrats Stars on advancing to the conference final, and congrats to the Calgary Flames because the conditional pick you got for Chris Russell is going to go up.
What? That's amazing. What about, okay, we've got the Predators and we got the Sharks. Now, a lot of people said when the trade was made, I think it was in December, when Seth Jones went to Columbus, when Ryan Johansson went to Nashville, people said, well, what did you really get? You took away a strength to address a weakness, which traditionally isn't a great idea.
Well,
you traded a really great guy for a guy that's got question marks, but here they are in the second round.
Here they are. And Pecorino's looked okay. But, God, that goalie...
Hey, are you talking about 2016 All-Star Pecorine?
Dude, Rene is such
But Steve,
a time bomb.
But Steve, Pecorine is an all-star.
He sure is.
He's an all-star.
So is John Gibson.
But Pecorine is an all-star despite what his numbers tell you. So you need to give him the respect he deserves. He deserves an automatic.
I gotta put some respect on it.
Yeah,
Jesse just
put some
looked at me
respect
like,
on it.
do it.
You gotta put some respect on his name.
Put some respect on my name. Put some respect on Renee. Put some respect on it.
The memes to come out of that
We
have
were
been
just talking about that.
we were
so good. And by the way, Charlemagne that show is an incredible show. The Breakfast Club at Power in New York. But Charlemagne is my favorite personality I think ever. He is just literally all of Birdman's crew walks in there and he's like, say what you gotta say, Birdman. And I'm like, this is gonna be a fight.
And
like he's gonna kill him.
like an idiot.
Yeah, and he walked out. You had 12 guys.
Yeah.
You brought 12 guys.
He told Kanye West his album sucked to his face.
Yeah, I thought it was whack.
He doesn't care.
He's amazing.
He really doesn't.
If you don't know who we're talking about, Google them. They're great.
Google. Oh,
Everybody knows.
Everybody
everyone
knows. If you
knows
don't
what
know,
we're talking about.
now you know.
Birdman. Geez, what were we just talking
We
about?
were just-
Pecorino.
Yeah.
Nashville. You always gotta curb your own expectations. I expect the Sharks to beat the Predators, but how come? Well, because I didn't expect the Predators to beat the Ducks. Okay, Steve. Well, did you expect the Sharks to beat the Kings? And the answer is no. I didn't call that at all, and definitely not in 5.
No.
So are the Sharks all of a sudden a favorite because they exceeded expectations in round 1?
Yes. Because you know what? Bandwagons. That's why.
You're right. Well, the Sharks are already screwed because I said they would make the Cup final last show. So they're already screwed.
Oh. I do think, I'm with you. I think that the Sharks win this series. But I was impressed by the tenacity of Nashville.
Yes. You know what? The Ducks had their struggles for sure. Poor Bruce Boudreau.
How many Bruce Boudreau era is over tweets did you get last night? Era. That's what I meant. Like
over.
All the tweets.
Okay. What is it? He's lost
1-7. Does it mean anything?
He's 1-7 in Game 7s, but he's won 8 division titles in 8 years.
So here's my question. Why did we not factor him in when we were talking about our picks for the bracket? Because any Bruce Boudreau coached team, how far do they get in the playoffs?
Okay, but
The Capitals and the Ducks.
But to bet against the Ducks for that,
It's true.
we are then saying that all 8 years his team won a division title. It was just because they were great and no other reason.
No, I think Bruce Boudreau is a good coach. I think he might have the same issue the Toronto Raptors might have, which is he doesn't adjust when other teams adjust to him. You can get away with that in the regular season because you're playing one game. But when you have a series,
That's where real the best coaches succeed.
Exactly. So you're going to come in and you're going to play your game. Well, they've adjusted to your game and now it's not working. So what adjustments in your game are you going to... Well, we're going to play our game. Well, yes, but you're going to have to fix something or change something on the fly to play your game. So what is that going to be? And I wonder, I don't know, I wonder if that's maybe the case. Maybe he's like, we'll stick to our guns and whatever, and it's just not happening. Or maybe it's just bad luck.
A Canucks,
8 times in a row.
Not a Canucks. Ducks fan tweeted me last night and he goes, you know what? You guys make fun of the Ryan Kessler contract all the time, but damn it if he's not the only guy who actually showed up for this game.
And whoever that was is right.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely,
look,
you were bang on, sir, or ma'am.
I will not. Yeah, I don't remember who it was. I will not say Kessler's a bad player.
No,
he's just not at $6.85 million a season.
31, 32 years old.
Oh my God, that's by the way that kicks in next year. Not this past one when he made 5.
How much do you want to bet they leave him unprotected?
Oh my God! 100%. Like I've never been more sure.
And I think he'll be a part of the new team because if I'm the new team, I want a guy like Ryan Kessler. Don't you?
Why not?
Why
You guys
not?
want some Bruce Boudreau regular season stats?
Yes.
Yeah.
10 coaching years in the NHL. How many of those seasons has he not won a division title?
Well, Steve's just said it 8, so it's 2, right?
I guess.
If Steve already said it.
Well,
then.
okay, the one where he was fired by Washington,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm trying to figure out what the other year was.
Good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
1 year he finished 5th in the division with Anaheim. So he's 8 out of 10. Coaching record with Anaheim is 208 and 104.
You can't fire that guy. You can't fire him.
Exactly.
You cannot fire a coach with a record like that.
Who's 100 games above 500.
That's insane.
It's ridiculous.
Like, that's crazy. And you know what? He was really great with Washington, too. The thing that got him kicked out of town was when he sat Ovechkin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. Like, he's on... Correct me if I'm wrong, but like if he continues to coach and his teams continue winning at this pace, isn't he on pace to be like the winningest coach of all time?
Yeah, he has 400 wins right now.
Like you always hear like
Wow.
the fastest coach to 300, fastest coach to 400, fastest. 1-7 in game 7s. But
Bad luck?
It's that it could be horrible luck, or it's that one game plan thing.
See, if I'm the Ottawa Senators, I'm kicking myself for already hiring a new head coach. Or did they already? No, they had a new GM.
Yeah.
No head coach.
Dorian, I think, is his
Because if I am the Ottawa Senators, I am watching that Anaheim situation like a hawk, and I am grabbing him. Because all the Ottawa Senators want to do is make the playoffs. What does Bruce Boudreau do for you? In a wide open division?
Basically.
He gets you to the damn playoffs. That's all. That is all the Senators want to do so they can make budget.
Okay, so I don't like the narrative that he just can't get it done. But how many years have we seen the photo of him in the final 5 minutes of a game 7 and him looking absolutely devastated?
I want to give him a hug. He seems like a nice enough guy.
Oh, it has nothing to do with that. It's just, does he crack? He might crack under the pressure. But what is going wrong then? When a coach cracks, or when a coach is can't handle the pressure, what is that like on the bench? Does he start throwing the wrong guys out? Does he?
Well, you know what? I think energy. I mean, energy alone. When you're on a team, you can tell going into a game sometimes whether or not you're going to go in and dominate, or whether or not you're going to go in and have a good time, just based on the mentality in the dressing room. I think there is an energy for sure.
Oh yeah.
And I think if your coach is putting off an energy like that, that's got to be a little bit like, whoa.
You ever go into a situation like a school project or something at work, or you're building something, and the people, you look over at the person you're working with, or some of the people you're working with, and you go, oh no, they're clueless too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, I just want a little reassurance, and you look over and you go, oh no, they're just as scared as I am. Yeah. Sometimes that helps.
And then sometimes you've got that one person, that white knight, who comes in and is totally confident and knows they can take it. And you're like, whatever that guy's on, I'm going to be on that train too. And you ride their coattails.
And you know who that was? Corey Perry, who had 0 goals and 4 assists all series.
Ew, that's over $8 million.
4 points.
Well, I mean, technically he gets paid for the regular season and not the playoffs.
That. And I bet, you put Corey Perry in the playoffs next year, that's not going to happen.
No. I think they probably just had a bad series. Didn't seem like they got their S together, as it were.
I don't know.
Well, let's stop talking about them because they don't matter. Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, it's true.
Unless Bruce Boudreau gets fired, and then we got to talk about it. But I think
who's going to write the eulogy for them?
Good question. Steve's is up, by the way, at puckdaddy.com on the team that we knew was going to have a eulogy written about them after the first round. We knew this pretty much for sure, the Minnesota Wild. We'll be right back on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. We have, this weekend, a draft lottery. And many angles to cover.
That's so close.
We'll get to those next, including, what if Austin Matthews doesn't go first overall?
What?
It's possible. So we have, in this segment, a couple things. We've got some Mike Francesa audio.
Oh boy.
Which we'll get to. First, though, we have a draft lottery this weekend. Yay! And I there isn't much of a round of applause coming from this table because there is a tad bit of nerves going into this. Obviously, as a Toronto fan podcast, I mean, we are Toronto fans, all three of us. We want Austin Matthews, or we want that first round pick. First overall pick.
Adam, this is going to be one of those things where you ever head into a situation knowing you're going to feel differently in the moment?
Okay, what do you mean? Right
now, I am so at peace. I have prepared myself so much for the Leafs to pick fourth that I'm at peace with them picking fourth.
Is it only first or fourth like last year, or can they do second, third, or fourth?
No, it's any of the first 4 picks they could get. They could get first, they could get second, they could get third, they could get fourth. But I've just made peace with the fact that they're going to lose each of the 3 lotteries and pick fourth. And I'm fine with it because I know they're going to get a great player. What if one of the Finnish kids drops? What if, Matthew Tkachuk is great? What if they're able to get Alex Nylander? What if they trade down and get even more draft picks? That is going to be great. And I know in the moment, if they lose, like the second they announce all 3 picks, I'm going to be absolutely crushed.
I'd be shattered. I'd be shattered if they don't pick top 3. Here's what I'm hoping for, and I don't even know if there's a 50% of this chance of this happening, because you say, well, there's 4 picks, there's a 50% chance that you're in the top 2. The thing is that I don't think it actually works that way, because there's a 20% shot at pick 1, and I don't know what the pick 2 percentage is, but I don't think
17.5.
Yeah, so that does not equal 50%. Is my point.
No, it's pretty weird. So if you go to NHLDraftLotterySimulator.com,
Which I have stayed away from because no.
I have done less of it this year than last. Last year I ran it about 2,000 times, literally. Which makes me the GM of the Vancouver Canucks. And if you look at the Leafs percentages, odds to win, whenever they don't win a particular lottery, because it goes first, second, third on that site. So the chances of them winning goes up each round that they don't win, but it's only by like a couple percent.
So it's
20% odds to win the first pick. And then if they lose, it might be like 22 or 21 or 23, depending on who else wins.
For instance, I just went to the website and I picked Edmonton to pick first, and now the Leafs chances are 23.1%.
Yes, so if Edmonton wins a lottery, see, Leaf fans should almost be excited if Edmonton wins, and I know that sounds stupid.
Wait a second,
but
what?
Edmonton has the second best odds.
Okay.
Right? So if they win, yes, they leapfrog the Leafs, technically, but then the Leafs' odds to win the next one go up.
Yeah.
I know that sounds stupid.
Okay, no,
but
I get it.
Let's say I don't know, the Hurricanes. Let's pretend the Hurricanes won the first lottery. The Leafs' chances of winning only go up by I think less than 1%.
Ran it again. Vancouver gets the first overall pick, so now the Leafs' chances of getting the second are 22% instead of 23 when Edmonton won.
Right.
But none of that matters when we get the first overall pick.
So, Jackson, you're going for it? You think it's going to happen?
Oh, yeah, guaranteed.
So,
100%.
There is a shot, guys. There's a chance that, and this is why I want them to pick at least top 2, that a young man out of Finland named Patrick Laine, and it's spelled Lane, but apparently it's pronounced Laine.
I thought it was Laine.
Laine, okay, or Laine.
We'll get our Finnish listeners to yell at us again.
I'm sure.
Just like they did
by the way, I have a bunch of Finnish names that we have to try out and audio to support them too. So we're going to do that on an upcoming show. I'm saving that. Don't worry. Our Finnish listeners came in droves. It was crazy. I got tons of audio. It's amazing.
There are a lot. I've actually had to lean on a few Finnish listeners to the show a few times this year. There was one article I had to write when Kasperi Kapanen was put on a stamp in Finland. People were sending me the article saying it from Europe.
And
it's
you
in
had
Finnish, and I'm like, cool. You want to read that to me? And just to make sure they weren't messing with me, I had to ask a few others, cross-reference it. It was pretty cool.
So Patrick Laine could be picked first overall.
Could be.
And there's a lot of evidence to support he may be the best player in the draft. He's already got a shot. They say not Ovechkin's shot, but akin to it, in the sense that it is just absolutely unreal, his shot. And he's also got the wheels and the smarts.
So it's Kessel part 2.
Well,
oh my God.
That I don't know about that. I'm not sure if he's a fan of hot dogs or not. So they didn't really get into that in the scouting reports. But from what I'm reading, he's an incredible hockey player.
And he put on a hell of a performance in the Finnish playoffs. Mm-hmm. Wasn't he MVP? I think he was playoff MVP and his team won? Or am I thinking of Puljujärvi? Who, by the way, his team won gold at the under 18s. But you got to draft a Canadian kid. You got to get him in there. Can't have these fish sticks kids. He's fish sticks.
The great thing about both Laine and Austin Matthews and it's Puljujärvi.
I'm going to say that. I called him that pulled pork kid in my Don Cherry video. A pulled pork Finnish kid.
All 3 of those guys don't have to play in the NHL, and they don't have to go back to the CHL.
Nope.
So you can protect them with the Marlies. And that is a good thing. Even if...
It's nifty.
Even if they make the team out of camp and you're like, you know what? Going to give you some time. I'm going to give you some time. I'm going to give it 20 games with the Marlies, see how you do there. Or whatever it is the Leafs want to do. What those players give you are options. So I really hope that it is top 2. If it's top 3, that's fine too. And let's be honest, a top 4 pick is still great. Okay? We're all going to be really disappointed if it's 4th. But this team is going to be built on more than just a top 10 first round pick. That's why we have Dale Hunter. He's got to be able to Mark Hunter. That's why we have Mark Hunter.
That's why we got the brother of Dale Hunter.
That's right. That's right. That's why we have them. Those guys are there to scout all the players that other teams are not going to pick up on. And remember, we say it every time, who went in the second round who's really great.
Exactly. And
name some players.
Their first his bread and butter is who the Leafs get in the second round, the third round,
yes.
the fourth round, the fifth round.
Because it's easy to pick the top 10 guys. It is easy, relatively.
Yeah.
Any of the people in this room could go up and be like, we'll take one of the projected top 5.
Yeah.
Please.
Chances are.
And no one will get mad at us. Because, they'll get mad at us if we pick someone out of the expected top 5. Which means we just do the obvious.
Yeah.
Which means the Edmonton Oilers are geniuses.
The top 3 picks in any sport, any normal person with any type of knowledge could pick them.
Yes.
Just go up there
pretty
and
much.
don't screw it up.
Unless it's a very rare situation, there's usually a consensus top 5.
Now, with that said, Steve, you got something?
Well, yeah. Okay. So if you go to draftlotterysimulator.com, just Google NHL Draft Lottery Simulator. You get to see how much of a crapshoot it is. You'll come up with so many different combinations. There's an article. If you look up, if you Google Canucks Army Draft Lottery, they wrote something about the draft lottery for this year. And there are some really interesting factoids in there that you should read. So they wrote, so the Leafs had the best odds, right? Mm-hmm. Oilers had the second best odds. So what are the odds that the team with the best odds, the Leafs, wins one of the lotteries, and the Oilers, who have the second best odds, win the next one? That seems like the most likely scenario, right?
Percentage-wise.
It technically is. So here's what they wrote. This is technically the most likely scenario, but of course, with this many combinations, the most likely scenario isn't very likely. The chances of the worst 2 teams picking first and second overall, respectively, is just 3.3%.
Wow. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Everything is proportional, so the chances of the 14th worst team don't change much, even when the biggest chunks are removed. Third worst has the most to gain here and has a little better than a 1 in 6 chance at winning the third overall selection. And there are some other crazy things in there. I think it was like the odds of the 3 best teams, so the teams with the worst odds at winning the first overall pick, the odds of them winning all 3 lotteries is like 1 in 200,000 or something like that.
Okay. Wow. Well,
which means it's going to happen.
If there was ever a year, the Leafs are in it, so this is the year.
Yes.
I do, as much as I am preparing myself for this, let's just all be honest here. How disappointed are we going to be if the Leafs are picking 4th overall?
For me, it depends who wins. If it's
so, okay, let me rephrase the question. If Edmonton gets the first overall pick, what will be your reaction? And then we want to go separate reactions here. And then I want to gauge the storylines that will inevitably come out of Twitter and in the media. I want to know what the big storyline. Edmonton wins this pick. Your reaction, Steve?
Yeah, I don't know about you, Jesse, but for me, if Edmonton wins, it might be the best thing that could possibly happen to me personally, because it's pure comedy. That's hilarious, dude. That's content for a month. I can do video after video after video, post after post, talking about that, ripping on that, doing all kinds of skits about that. That would be hilarious. And as a Leaf fan, what do I care how good or bad the Oilers are? Yeah, they're a Canadian team, but Stanley Cup final, like that's where that matters. That's it. That's really it. Which, save this audio, LOL. Just kidding. But seriously, it doesn't really affect me that much. It's not like there's a huge bitter rivalry there with the Oilers. I won't care. I won't care. If the Canadians win, first of all, bitter rival forever and ever.
By the way, are the Canadians could?
They have the 9th best odds. So, and by the way, they're probably not going to pick worse than 9th. Because the odds of them getting leapfrogged aren't very good.
That's Rocket Richard's number. It's Rocket Richard's number, I'm just saying.
I didn't even think of that. But if they win, bitter rival. So just arguing with friends, that's bad. But then also, whoever they get, the Leafs got to play them 6 times a season. And they're in the division.
Well,
they're in the conference. Oilers aren't in the same division. They're not in the same
You're
conference.
saying we got to play? They got to play them? No, not necessarily. It's Michel Therrien. He's not going to put the best players on the ice.
Oh, that's true.
Come on.
I think you play backup. I think you, until you put some respect on it.
Put respect on my name.
Yeah, put respect on Therien's name.
Jesse.
Yes.
Your reaction if the Edmonton Oilers get the first overall pick?
I think that means it's a more likely chance that we get someone like Taylor Hall. Because if they draft Austin Matthews, that means they got some room to move some guys out. And that means the Leafs could pick up some guys.
Adam, Jesse, sorry.
Are we interchangeable to you? Is that what it is?
Pretty much.
I mean, I know your name's on the show and all.
No, other humans are just not Steve.
Listen, not Steve. Steve's brain works like Iron Man's face, and it's like, not Steve. Also not Steve. Also not
Whenever
Steve.
I order something from I'm going out to get coffee, I'm like, hello, person who doesn't matter. I'll have I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We're talking about Jesse's reaction.
We're assuming that the Oilers are going to actually do something to change.
This might be the thing that pushes them to finally change. That's what I'm hoping for.
How many more years are we going to say that?
Eventually, it's going to happen.
Well, they do have a new regime.
New building.
And a new building, but also they have people who have won in the past and built great teams in the past now. Instead of former Oilers who were on great teams and never built anything but had the job anyway.
Exactly.
So I think with Chiarelli, I think you got to change the way you look at the Edmonton Oilers in this draft and last draft versus the previous drafts.
And Chiarelli has the history of shipping guys out of town.
So in 3 years, Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid are Leafs.
Exactly.
And we'll give him Louis Erickson.
Of shoving the best, most talented players in the league out of town.
It's
Positivity, guys.
True.
One of the best tweets I've ever seen sent in hockey Twitter was sent on April 10th of this year by Down Goes Brown. He said
he's funny.
Edmonton Oilers rebuild plan 2010 to we don't know. And it's a chart. He made a cycle chart. And it's, why are we bad again? I can't understand it. Next thing. Obviously, major changes are required. Definitely need to trade some key pieces. Well, not that guy. Also not him. That guy could still be good someday. Wouldn't get much for him anyway. You know what? Maybe we should just tinker. Why are we bad again? I can't understand it. Obviously, major changes are required. Definitely need to trade some key pieces. Well, not that guy. Also not him.
I was in a meeting. I think I said this on the pod. I was in the meeting the other, a couple weeks ago. Same thing. Well, this thing isn't working. Well, what if we go? We went through several things, and nobody wanted to change anything. And I was like, well, that's great. So we're going to continue to be where we're at. That's cool. That's
Next
cool.
meeting. Why isn't anything going well?
It happens all the time. It happens all the time.
In every field.
Every profession. The NHL is not different. And that is why I said, and a lot of people hated me for it, Nuge has got to go. Boom. I said the Nuge. Call him the Nuge.
Pick one. Pick one.
And
Pick any of them.
I'm sorry, Eberle is not enough. Nuge has got to go.
Oh, my God. Or draft anyone outside of the first round.
Or draft anyone outside of a center.
Yeah, but then...
I know they have... Yeah, I know there are non-centers on the team, but I'm just saying, they draft...
That is the funny thing. Okay, you have to draft the best player available. Of course you do. Of course. But the last thing they need
is another scoring center, which is a good problem to have.
No, you know what? They could use a scoring center. They could use their center depth is we're not sure, but as a forward, just another forward.
Yeah.
The plan is to run Darnell Nurse. They're going to triple shift them every game.
You know who would have looked? Darnell and Noah Hannafin would look really good together right about now. Yeah. Not that I would say don't draft Connor McDavid. Ever.
No.
But Carolina Hurricanes have got to be looking to deal. And they did just lose a stall, and they could use a scoring centerman in which to build a team around. Gee, I wonder what the Oilers have.
Do you trade the first overall pick? If you're Edmonton.
When was the last time? I think you got to think about it. When was the last time that happened?
The first overall pick was traded?
That does not... it happens in football all the time. And it's funny. Football is like the CHL. It's like, I'm going to give you 4,000 picks, and I want your one pick. And then a few years from now, I will get all those picks back because I traded my pick to some other sucker and got 4,000 picks back.
Conditional this
and then
that,
some money and
holy smokes.
It's true.
So complicated.
The last time it happened was in 2003 when the Panthers traded the number 1 overall pick and a third rounder to the Penguins for the number 3 pick and a second rounder.
Is that the Malkin pick? No.
No.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Marc-Andre Fleury, and I think the Panthers got Nathan Horton.
The number 3 pick?
I believe that would have been Nathan Horton.
They got.
Which, you know what? Had his back held up, still a pretty damn good pick.
He was a good player.
He was a very good player.
Looking it up right now.
We are running out of time on the
Nathan
radio
Horton.
portion. We're running out of time on the radio portion of this, but at the end of the day, we're all going to be super sad, super serial sad if the Leafs are not picking first, and especially super serial sad if the Oilers are picking first. And I think that goes league-wide.
I disagree.
And I think, here's what I also think. I think if the Oilers pick first overall, I think now there's a target on that team. Now fans are going to start booing the Oilers just for the fact that they have sucked for so long.
Boo a team that sucks.
You can't boo. In this case, you're intentionally sucking at this point, right?
You don't,
right? I mean, there is an intentionally suck.
Boo Ralph. You can't boo Ralph Wiggum.
But if Ralph is intentionally not learning to read and eating crayons,
you can't. This is not nice. This is not nice.
Are you saying?
That's actually a really great comparison.
Are you saying that at every draft after their first round pick, the Oilers are like, I ate the purple berries?
Yes.
Exactly.
Ow! That's not my favorite Ralph Wiggum moment.
With that, we are going to go on the Steve Dangle podcast on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. In the download portion of this podcast, the Islanders. The Islanders are a third-rate organization, according to our favorite radio host, Mike Francesa.
Oh my!
And Steve, you just ran the draft lottery simulator on your computer. What are the picks, sir?
3rd overall pick, Winnipeg Jets. 2nd overall pick, Vancouver Canucks. 1st, Leafs!
Woo!
Yeah! This would make me pissed. 1st overall pick, Vancouver Canucks. Okay, I don't really care about that, but whatever. I care a little bit about that.
Can you run through the top 3 picks that you just reran the simulator?
Yes,
what do you have?
Yes. 1st overall pick, Vancouver Canucks.
Okay.
Canucks fans will just be ranting and raving. And
don't worry, they'll trade it for someone else mediocre.
You never know. They'll definitely be giving it to me for all the grief I gave them this year. 2nd overall pick.
They didn't earn anything, though.
2nd
Get out of
overall
here.
pick,
All right.
another team that I've given much grief to, and this hurts the Leafs a bit because same conference, the Columbus Blue Jackets. But that doesn't sting nearly as much as the 3rd pick, which is the Montreal Canadiens. That would sting more. To me. Just saying. Want me to do it again? I'm going down the rabbit hole.
I feel like
Jets, Sabres, Coyotes.
No, let's not do this.
Want me to do it again?
No.
Flames, Oilers, Devils. Want me to do it again?
no. Devils? Screw the Devils.
Coyotes, Oilers, Leafs.
No.
Want me to do it again?
No.
Jets, Coyotes, Flames. Want me to do it again?
Can you close his computer, please? We got
Sens,
stuff. We got
Oilers.
actual things
Want me
to
do
talk
it
about.
again?
So Adam, what would you like to talk about?
I would
Devils,
like
Leafs,
to-
Canucks. Want me to do it again?
Hey!
Avalanche, Canucks, Blue Jackets. Want me to do it again? See how much of a crapshoot this is? Oilers, Flames, Leafs. Want me to do it again? Leafs, Sens, Canucks. Oh my God!
I've learned that if you do it enough times, the percentages just work out, and the Leafs win the majority. Like if you get up to
Because they have the highest
Not all the
percentage.
time.
exactly.
Steve,
So if
Steve,
you
no.
stop it.
No.
Close it. Close his computer. Jesse, you have very long arms. Please shut his computer off. Shut it
Not what
off.
These arms are for.
These arms aren't made for closing.
These arms.
All right. Can we get on to something more fun?
I know those are the words. What?
Mike Francesa does not like the New York Islanders.
I'll have you know, I avoided this clip for 24 hours so I could hear it for the first time here.
I have not heard it either because nobody even bothered to send it to me, which is surprising.
I know.
They did.
They did?
You were tagged in some of the tweets.
Oh,
yeah.
damn. Okay. Well, sorry I didn't see them because I haven't been looking at Twitter very much. I'm sorry.
Adam's like, what do you want to talk about today? I'm like, oh, can't wait to talk about that Mike Francesa thing. And you just see his face go, doo-doo-doo-doo.
So all I know, so we're gonna go completely dry into this. All I know is that Mike does not think much of the New York Islanders, and here's what he had to say about it.
I just wanted to ask you a question. You know, I always ask you, is it going to take the conference championship to get you out to Barclay? That's number one. And
yeah, you know what? Here's what's wrong with them right now. They're not. I'm gonna be honest with you.
They're not set up for you, right?
They're not very good at.
know
they're not very good at promoting. I gotta be honest with you.
Mike is talking!
They're third rate at promoting themselves. They got to realize this is New York and this is the big time because they're a third rate organization. I'm sorry, they are. They don't know what they're doing. They're in the playoffs the second round now. They don't even know how to be there. They don't know how to promote themselves. They couldn't even find the time to get the coach to the show here. And we were willing to take them. They couldn't even get into the show on time.
I know what's going on here.
They don't know what they're doing. They're a little lost right now. They're in a little deep. Now, their players aren't, but the organization is. The organization right now, as far as what it's doing, especially from a PR standpoint, is lost. I mean, they're third rate at best.
Okay. So he's not calling out the Islanders. What that is, my friends, I'm going to just come out and say it. That's Mike Francesa whipping out his manhood and waving it at the Islanders, going, excuse me, you have not allowed me access to your team in the way that I believe personally I should be allowed. And by the way, some teams just don't allow that. Some teams are just not, they're not PR teams. They're not teams that are going to give you tremendous amounts of access. I can tell you right now, it's difficult to get access to any professional team, whether your company owns it or not.
And you know what?
That's a lot of wagon of something.
I don't know about the wagon, but you are right. That is bang on the reason why he is upset. Mm-hmm. And I'd love to rip Mike, but were it not that I have felt the same way myself in the past.
Well, I think we all do. But at the end of the day, Mike is calling them a third-rate organization when that is not necessarily true. It's just maybe they didn't want to deal with Mike.
Well, you know what? That might be
they're not
possible.
set up for me.
But I tell you what, I know a young man who for half a decade had a deep, bitter hatred of the London Knights for that very reason. And that is the guy talking right now. When I did Junior Hockey Magazine, when I was the writer/producer for that show, booked all the guests, most teams were extremely accommodating. That year, it was such a good... And stop me if I've told the story before, but it was a really good year for junior hockey. Every week I was getting the phone number and talking to superstars in the NHL now, like Jordan Eberle, Taylor Hall, PK Subban, John Tavares. Who else? Holy smokes! Jared Cowan was a big deal at the time. Zach Boychuk
Toronto
was a
Maple
first
Leaf,
rounder that
Jared
year.
Cowan.
Peter Holland was on the show.
Toronto Maple Leaf. Future
Carter
former.
Ashton. Who else? Lots of first round picks. And my mission was to basically have on every first round pick, or every projected first round pick. The one guy I was having trouble getting was Victor Hedman. He was in Sweden, so
that's tough.
Yeah, you can give me a mulligan on that one. I was just some 20-year-old trying to figure it out in the world. But John Tavares gets traded. We wanted to have him on later in the year. If he was with the Gens, I wouldn't have had a fucking problem. But he got traded to the Knights. And of course you want to have the first overall pick on later in the year, right? Closer to the draft. It's just good booking. Thanks for the lesson, Gino Retta. So he gets traded to the Knights, and it's finally time to have John Tavares on week. So I call their PR guy. Call their PR guy, who shall remain unnamed.
Do you know this person?
Well,
Still?
I did. No. I did at the time. And he's like, yep, you can have John Tavares on. No problem. Call me at this time, and we'll arrange it. We'll figure it out. Blah, blah, blah.
Was it like trying to get Prince's people to call you?
It was exactly like trying to get Prince's people to call me. If you've ever seen that Kevin Smith thing where he's talking about shooting a documentary with Prince.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I was doing that. I was doing that show, and I was trying to book a fucking show, a nationally syndicated show. And see, now my Mike Francesa says, how dare he? And I was trying to book that, and I was doing a full course load at school. So he doesn't answer first time I call. I go, all right. I wait a little bit. Call again. Doesn't answer that. Wait a little bit. Call again. Wait a bit. Call again. Wait a bit. Call again. Wait a bit. I don't have time to be fucking doing this shit. Pick up the phone when you said to call the phone. God damn it. I was pissed. I've been holding this grudge for years. Anyway, he finally answers. I go, hey, sir, let's say. Hey, Jim.
Sir Jim.
Hey, Jim.
He's a knight. So it's Sir Jim.
Hey, Jim.
You didn't get that, did you?
Did you
didn't get it?
No, I'm sorry.
It was good. I like
Sir Jim, because he's a knight.
Oh, yes. I got it. Sorry, I'm stewing.
Sorry, I'm going to let you stew. You go. I'm
stewing in my 2009 rage.
Let it out.
I go, sir, did you get my call? He goes, yeah, I got your call and the other 6 times you called.
Oh.
And this is when I just went, fuck it. I was 20 years old when I did this. I go, listen, asshole, you told me to call you.
Well, that's maybe aggressive right off the bat.
I was just like, look, you told me to call you this time. I'm trying to do this.
Did you say listen, asshole?
I didn't actually say listen, asshole. But you know what?
I was going to be like, Steven.
for the next 2 weeks, every time I looked in the mirror, you ever rehearse a conversation or go,
all the time?
Here's how this would have gone. Listen, asshole. I was not nice. I was rude. I was like, listen, you told me to call it this time. And I kind of barked at the guy, right? And he actually, like, to the point where he realized he was wrong. He was very wrong.
Sure.
And he called me back later to apologize. And I remember being like, wow, how about that? The PR guy for the London Knights calling me to apologize, So, and then he goes, you know what? I'm sorry. John will be on at this time. You can call him, let us know this at this time. And I go, great. And he goes, and if you ever want to have anyone else on, any of our other draft eligible guys, you just let me know and I'll arrange that for you. And I went, yeah, okay, cool. Sounds good. And I hung up and I went, fuck you. That is not happening. Mm-hmm. I am not.
I thought he heard it or something. I was like, no.
No. I didn't say that to him. But I went, fuck you. I'm not having a night on for the rest of the year. How about that? Stupid. But it was a mission of mine because the Leafs were going to have a really good pick that year. And I was like, you know what? It'd be really cool to at least have the number for whoever that Leaf ends up being, whoever that player is, whoever the Leafs draft. And I remember I was big on the Jared Cowan train. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, got that number. I was big on this train, that train, that train, that train. And imagine how much my heart sunk when Brian Burke gets up there and he goes, with the 7th overall pick, the Toronto Maple Leafs select from the London Knights, Nazem Kadri, who we did not have as a guest that year because I said, fuck the Knights.
See, this leads into a couple things. First off, why you must resist the temptation as a broadcaster sometimes. Sometimes you got to beat your chest. Sometimes not. I think Francesa was sending a message to the Islanders.
Gino doesn't know that story.
Well, he does now. Francesa has to be careful because the Islanders don't need Mike Francesa. The Islanders will be there after Mike Francesa. I mean, as much as I love our boy Mike, I do. Mike is at the end of his career and has said that multiple times. He could go on another 20 years, but the Islanders will still be a franchise after Mike is gone. And guess what? There are other radio stations. If I am the Islanders PR guy, I go, okay, Mike. Okay. Oh, we're not ready for you? Okay, whatever. What's WFAN's main competitor? I don't know what it is in New York.
Big one though.
Doesn't matter.
They're not in front.
Guess who? Or what's the morning show on WFAN? Because I believe it's Fox affiliated, so it couldn't be Mike and Mike, but it would be something else. Whoever it is, I'm going to them. And I am not having Mike broadcast live. Absolutely.
Because Francesa's going to be there longer than the head coach. He's going to be there longer than the GM.
Are you kidding me?
How much traffic and money does Deadspin alone generate from
off
just publishing Mike Francesa shit? Mm-hmm. So imagine how much they make off Mike. He's probably worth every dollar he's paid, even though we make fun of him all the time.
He 100% is. I'm not doubting that for 1 minute. But if you are the PR person, don't tell me that you do anything for him after this. I don't know. That is an old way. Honestly, it's an old way of doing business, and it's not a good way of doing business. This day and age, it doesn't work like that anymore. That's an 80s, 70s thing. I can tell you honestly from experience, that does not work. And I'll eat my words if Mike is broadcasting live from the Barclays Center next week. Fine. If that's what's happening, cool. But I just don't think if you're Mike Francesa and you want to broadcast live from the Barclays Center, which it sounds like he does, because his listeners are like, why don't you broadcast live from there? Well, they're third rate. I just don't know what does Mike have to gain from that?
You know what? Mike has nothing to gain from that.
But he's got nothing to lose, I guess.
Well, but he's got nothing to gain from that, and he shouldn't be so petty. But damn it if I don't remember that Scott Glennie was the only guy who ever ducked our show.
Which is who?
Exactly. But he was I think he was picked like 9th overall by the Dallas Stars. And I was trying to have every first round pick, and he was the only guy who completely said, yep, I'm coming on, and then never did.
His career went well.
Well, no, but listen, I'm not doing this to shit on Scott Glennie. I'm just saying that was 7 years ago, and I still remember that shit. I remember. I'm not sore about it.
No, it's true.
But I remember it.
I remember
Career games in the NHL, Scott Glennie.
I think he played
How many?
30.
How many?
50.
1.
Okay. Well,
Wow.
2 penalty minutes. 1
Hey,
game.
well, he made a mark.
That's it.
He and Andrew Peters should do a show together.
dude, Andrew Peters played 228 more games.
He did. I know.
How do you know?
I get it. So here's my next.
I don't remember how to long divide.
Here's my next thing. Okay, so we're talking about.
I don't remember my blood type, Jesse, but I remember that.
We're talking about biases in sports, right? We're talking about what happens when this sort of thing happens. And by the way, I don't blame Mike for being mad. There was a pop artist that Blake and I were mad at because she was extraordinarily rude to us. And we said it multiple times on the air that she's not welcome back. And that pop artist is one of the biggest in the world. And at the time, she wasn't. But she was so rude. And now it's like, well, if the interview were to be offered to us, I don't know how we turn it down.
You have to take it.
You almost have to take it.
You said it on air many times. You want to just say
No.
it? No?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to rehash
bad,
it. I don't want to rehash it again. I've said it. I've already said it. If you missed it, you missed it. But I think it was one of those things where it's just kind of like, anyway, not the way to do business. And I sort of regret that. There was, however, a guy who we tried to get on the podcast years ago, this is before Jesse was here, to talk about a situation happening in Boston. And he said, and he was a reporter, and he said, great, my fee's $1,000. And we said, great, we'll do the show without you.
Who's that?
There was a reporter that you tried to book him. And you said, I'm going to get so-and-so from...
This was BJ. Before Jesse, right?
This is BJ.
Okay, just checking.
I don't remember this. I wonder, is this the same jerk who I asked to like do a guest blog or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't write for free."
He might have been.
We'll have to talk.
Might have been. Yeah.
Ooh. Since we're all talking in code and not throwing out.
I just know
names.
it was a reporter. I don't even know his name. I just know that it was a reporter from Boston. And I looked at him. I looked at his account, and I think at the time he had like 22,000 followers. And I'm like, he has less followers than you, Steve. How is he saying no to us?
People don't get paid for media appearances like that.
Well,
some people do.
Some people do.
Yeah,
some people do. So that's a fun fact.
Yeah, I do not.
I do not either. I'd love to know what that feels like. But good for him. If he can make it, good for him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if you're in high enough demand, you should charge, because
if you're Skip Bayless.
Well, and that leads us into another thing that I want to talk to. We want to get to Skip Bayless in a second. But first I want to mention the Larry Brooks, Dan Boyle situation.
Oh, yeah, which by the way was unfolding like as we were recording last time, so we couldn't get to it.
So we're talking about biases in sports, and apparently there was a bias against Dan Boyle in New York, according to certain people, because Dan Boyle's a bad quote. Good guy, bad quote.
Oh, is that what it was?
That was what I read from a person, and I forget his name, to be honest with you, but he does all the stats he does like really statistical analysis for the Rangers. And you know how I found him? And you know how I found his timeline? Because Damian Cox retweeted him and said, I'm sorry, I've never heard of this person.
Oh, was it NY Ragnar's?
No, it was not NY Ragnar's, but it was a guy who does stats for it. And he said, listen, this is what happened. So if you probably heard it, Dan Boyle kicked Larry Brooks and another reporter out of his scrum.
And the other reporter wasn't actually in the scrum.
Oh, okay, good.
He wasn't even in the building.
Well, there you go.
He was off covering something else.
And so Larry Brooks and Dan Boyle had a thing.
Yep.
And
now, I wonder where that stems from.
What? Now, the thing that gets me is that Larry Brooks, not that John Tortorella's some angel, but Larry Brooks is the common denominator in a lot of situations. What's his deal? Is he a great writer, or is he a guy that causes controversy? Because there are both, and there is room for both in sports.
You know what? I always give New York a little. I grade them on a curve. You know what I mean? Because I think even to be bad in New York media, you got to be at least somewhat good.
Oh, absolutely!
Yeah.
It's like a restaurant in New York.
If
you
you
can't
can
have a
make
bad
it
restaurant
bad.
in New York.
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
On Manhattan Island, there are no bad restaurants
No.
because they don't survive.
Yeah, it's true. It's 100% true. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
By the way,
kid.
the person I am quoting, and I didn't quote him directly, obviously, but Adam Z. Herman, who writes for Blue Shirts Banner.
Oh, okay. Adam Z. Herman.
Consulting for Clearsight and Analytics, writing about the Rangers and their prospects for Blue Shirt Banner.
Sounds like he knows what he's
And
talking
Damian Cox said,
I have
Never
no
heard of
idea
this
who this person is.
about. Which, fair enough, but like, Jesus, Damien.
Damien definitely knows and definitely doesn't like him. But anyway, let's save that
sake.
for another time.
Yeah.
So what do we think about the Larry Brooks, Dan Boyle situation? Could be Dan Boyle's last game.
You know, I'll relate it to myself again. Sometimes I criticize players. Pretty often, you know? And sometimes those players aren't on the Leafs, right? I think guys on the Leafs who are aware of me, because not all of them are, but the ones who are.
Oh, I think more than... I don't think they'd let that on.
When I criticize them, I think they get it. I think for the most part, they get it. And they know that if I do a video about them 82 games a season...
There's going to be some criticism.
How many times did I criticize James Reimer over like the 6 years or whatever he was with the Leafs? A ton of times, because he deserved it.
What you are willing to do, what you specifically are willing to do, if I may, is you're willing to say, great job, when great job is done. You don't hate a guy just to hate a guy.
I praised Bozak more times this year than I criticized him.
Because he was great.
Because he was, well, yeah.
He was really
deserved
great.
it. He deserved it.
Absolutely.
So I think the Leafs, for the most part, get it. Although I'm sure a few aren't fans. But like if you're an out-of-town guy, like sometimes I walk in there like for morning skate or whatever when I'm in there getting quotes or doing videos or like that cute little face swap thing I did with the Sabres. When I walk in there sometimes I'm like, there's a guy I blasted pretty hard. And there's a guy I blasted pretty hard. And there's a guy. And I'm like, I don't know how bad I want to talk to them because they might have something to say. You know what? I had the opportunity to talk to Evander Kane. I didn't do it because I'm like,
Why? Because of back on tracksuit?
No, not because of back on tracksuit. I think that he would have actually appreciated.
Yeah, he must have. And I hope Dustin Bufflin heard that.
Oh my God!
There's one person. If you are a Winnipeg fan, please tweet that episode at him because I would just love for Dustin to hear that.
Oh,
He won't say anything ever. But
No, I don't even know if he uses Twitter. But Larry Brooks writes columnisty stuff. And well, not columnisty stuff. He's a columnist, and he's very critical, and he's a little flamboyant with it sometimes, which I think you got to be in New York. But then, unlike a lot of columnists, he goes into all the scrums. So he invites, like he puts his face right there. You know, oh, you would never say that to my face, and sure enough, there's the guy. There's the guy right there with his face. And over the years, people blow up at him sometimes, but it's only been two.
Dan Boyle's criticism of Larry Brooks is that it's not that he criticizes guys.
I don't respect you.
It's that he buries them.
And he did bury Dan Boyle. And there is a thing, you know, I don't agree with this, but it is the way it is. If you're not a great player, you better be a damn good quote. Because guys love damn good quotes. And they like talking to you. They like even being your friend. I've seen it. They like even being your friend, and it's really hard to criticize someone you have a nice rapport with. I've seen it 1,000 times. And I've seen it and I go, no one is ever going to speak a word about this person.
So this is the same point that about the Islanders and Mike Francesa. Who will be there longer? Larry Brooks will be there longer than Dan Boyle. Larry Brooks will continue to do Larry Brooks. Dan Boyle is done with the Rangers.
Well, what's he going to do? Get fired for generating a ton of buzz and not actually doing anything genuinely wrong?
Well, and the interesting thing was that, well, people are like, well, reporters criticize the players. Who criticizes the reporters? As a non-reporter who does a sports talk podcast, I can tell you quite honestly, it is you who record.
Or how about us every show?
Every show, we do it.
Yeah, no.
Listen, if you want to step into the ring, you better be prepared for some poo flung in your face. Okay,
You know what?
That's what's going to happen.
Maybe that. First of all, vivid. Second of all,
Smelly poo.
maybe 10. Wow, now vivid and smell-o-vision. But maybe 10 years ago, you would have had a point. Nowadays, if you write a shitty column, you know about it.
Yeah. Even if you write the best column, somebody is still going to go, screw you, and I hope your family dies.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen.
Oh, someone talked about decapitating me on the Sportsnet Facebook page the other day.
That's amazing.
Which was
Wow.
festive. And I was
Festive.
like, which, by the way, posts on the Sportsnet Facebook page that I wrote, or it's a video of mine, but the thumbnail isn't my face. Oh, all the comments are nice. When it's my face, fuck this fucking asshole Dingleberry. I hate him. But
By the way,
yeah,
the same people who say Dingleberry are the same people who call them the Maple Laughs.
the laughs.
You are so lame. And by the way, I know our listeners, because they're younger, they're smart enough to know that if you post it on Facebook, we can see all the shit that you are associated with, where you work, your phone number, that sort of thing. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb.
Don't be an
on
idiot.
Facebook. Not just to us. I don't care. You could tweet me anything. I'm not really that worried about it. But don't go on Facebook and do that to people and brands and that sort of thing. Don't be that person.
Don't do it as an egg on Twitter, but especially don't do it on Facebook.
Yeah, where your personal family Facebook is,
If you need to triple check your tweet,
don't send it.
quintuple check your Facebook post. Where were we going with that?
We're going to. Well, I wanted to talk about those sorts of biases and stuff because you were talking about your bias with the London Knights. We're talking about Mike Francesa's bias with the Islanders. He's obviously mad at the PR department, and then of course we've got Dan Boyle, who doesn't have a great quote, who's a little bit who had a clash with Larry Brooks. I want to talk about though two people who are biased against common sense because there's a theme, and that is Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith.
Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. Actually, you know what? Can I cut you off? Because I just thought of something. You know who was a bad quote and a captain of a team and was only kind of a good player? Dion Phaneuf. Mm-hmm. You know who's a great quote? Just a great quote and people love? And he had a good season this year, but he's had a few pretty off ones in recent memory. Shane Doan. And when he comes to Toronto,
Says all the stuff.
people love talking to him. And you know what? I was there. He was nice. He was cordial. But no one would say a bad thing about Shane Doan. And that's the reason why. It's not a criticism of Shane Doan.
No.
It's a criticism of the people who cover him. And the people who
by the
cover
way,
Phaneuf. Anyway.
By the way, we're human beings. This happens, okay?
Oh, totally. I'm just saying what it is.
To live a life without bias is to not live at all. And truly, nobody's capable of it. So let's all try, but that doesn't mean it's possible. Now, I want to talk about this because I think it is a very interesting part of who we are as people. Okay, Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith hosted a show together. I don't even know the name of the show because it doesn't matter.
First Take.
It should have been called Hot Take. Should have been called Hot Take.
HOT.
And it is a first take is essentially a hot take because it is fresh out of the oven. And the best part about this program was the ridiculous things said on it.
Skip Bayless would have a ridiculous opinion, and Stephen A. Smith would be like, "Oh yeah," and then next segment, Stephen A. Smith starts, and Skip Bayless, "Oh yeah."
And literally, you needed the ringside announcer to go, "Oh my god, oh my god!"
I'm sure it's on in Canada. I just never see it. But whenever I'm in an airport, I'm like, "Holy shit, where's Steve and Steve? Or where's Steve and Skip?"
Yep.
I can't wait to watch this.
Even if you watched it,
anyone who's not me is
You want
just
to fight me, Kevin Durant?
Oh my god!
That happened.
That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard
He thought he
anyone
was
in
a
sports
mob
media ever
boss.
say. You don't want none of this, Kevin.
Kevin, are you listening to me? Are you listening to me, Kevin Durant? You do not want to come at me right now. Do you know who I am?
Oh yeah, Kevin Durant messing with the superpowers here. Yeah, let me tell you something there, Kevin. You don't want any of this.
Your Ultimate Warrior is pretty good, man.
No,
Isn't that Ultimate Warrior?
No, it wasn't that good because my Ultimate Warrior is just my Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, that's
you know, he does those fingers already.
Yeah, oh, sorry. I got the fingers mixed up. I don't know my 80s wrestlers as well as Steve.
But no, his Ultimate Warrior. Kevin, you want to come at me, Kevin? Well, let me tell you. You are play for the Thunder. I are play for the Lightning. I play for the Lightning and I bring the Thunder. That is what I do. What? The fuck are you talking about?
And that's what the show should have been called. What the fuck are these guys talking about? But the best. I think the best part about it was that, and I said this earlier. There is a place in sports for guys who throw gasoline on the fire, and women who throw gasoline on the fire. I don't mean guys. I mean guys as a human. Humans who throw
hot takes are not exclusive to men.
No. And I think that's the best part. And I will miss that about the two of those guys together because as ignorant and stupid, like their comments were just crazy sometimes. You just sat back, i.e. Mike Francesa, and you went, wow.
It's funny. You watch it once and you go, I hate these guys. I hate this channel. I hate everything about the show. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. You watch it a few times, you go, damn it, I think this might be the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. Because you watch it, you hear them talk about one topic, and you go, I hate Skip Bayless more than I've hated any human being I've ever met. And then the next topic, you go, fuck Stephen A. Smith in his face. What the fuck is he talking about? You go, Skip, you go. And then the next segment, I'm like, I gotta shut this off.
I am stressed out. I am stressed out. I gotta go take a bath and relax because these guys have got me fired up.
Oh my god.
That's a talent, man. That's a skill.
One of the things you saw consistently when people were reporting on the story, they were like, the character Skip Bayless plays on ESPN because they were
the
like,
bad guy from The Mask.
Yeah, it's a character. What he does on
guy
First
from The
Take.
Mask.
I'm sure in real life he's not like this.
No, of course not.
Not unlike Mark Madden.
No, I think he might be like that.
There's some people who buy into their characters though, and then they just become not real people. And that's why you got to hang on to some of the people that you were friends with before you were famous, because they remind you of what you were, and you go, oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Got bought a little too much into my own press there for a bit. I think Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, what they had and what they did was brilliant in a way.
Have we said what is actually happening?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Skip Bayless, I'm sure you've heard. Skip Bayless is going to Fox Sports 1 to have the Skip Bayless experience, which I'm sure will give you half of what you wanted, which is some opinions you agree with and some you're like, you are the most ignorant fool on the earth. The problem is that they were great counterbalances for each other. And it's a shame that the two of them won't be together because even if you are to pair Skip Bayless with someone else, it won't be Stephen A. Smith. And the Skip Bayless people, his crew, his posse, the people that love him will always outweigh that other person because they're not on the same level as Skip Bayless.
And it's not on the platform of ESPN.
Yes.
Which will be always 10 times bigger than Fox Sports.
Until they pick us up, until they pay us a bunch of money and send us to the States. No,
no. Here, I'll throw a name out there for someone who would be a great counter to Skip. I think in a lot of situations, Katie Nolan.
I thought you were going to say that. She would be great. And
Katie
the thing
Nolan would be
was,
fucking great.
There are a bunch of people were screen capping all the tweets about Skip Bayless that Fox Sports 1 announcers had dropped before. Like literally, I think Katie Nolan's one of hers was "Shoot me in the head right now."
Which, by the way, all of a sudden, can't wait to see them together.
I would love. You know what?
Can't wait.
If there's one person that it's going to work with, it's Katie Nolan.
It's got to be Katie Nolan.
Damn. She'd be great.
I think it'd be Katie Nolan. Garbage Time is great.
It is.
It is great. Oh man.
Man, I would love to see that.
But now who does Stephen A. Smith get? Because
now
it's
that's a tough
Skip
one.
Getting a new partner, right?
It's Steven getting a new partner.
Or does he get one? I think Stephen A. Smith would have an easier time.
I think he could host his own. He could do his own show.
But damn, we are splitting up like
Like, that is a power combination of idiocy.
It's when the tag team champions decide to go solo.
Yeah. It's not so
compete
good.
for the heavyweight title.
I'm surprised that Stephen A. Smith is not also going to Fox Sports 1.
Maybe when his contract's up.
Maybe, I don't know when his contract is
know.
up. Sometimes these guys talk about it on the air. It's interesting. That never happens in Canada. You never hear broadcasters talking about their contract. I've heard one time. It just doesn't happen here. In the States, it's like, yeah, well, my contract's... Like, they talk about themselves as though they're the players.
There is something to the Canadian politeness thing. There's a fine line. I think,
that's not
between
politeness. That's
polite and boring.
terrifying. That's being terrified. I don't think Canadians want to do it because I don't think they want... It's not acceptable up here. Straight up. Management will say, do not talk about this.
Why? Because it's rude.
Because it's rude, and
rude.
the audience
Heavens, we
doesn't care.
shouldn't do that.
That's what the argument is. The audience doesn't care. I think they do. I think the audience absolutely cares. I'm just telling you what I've heard.
You know what's always an amazing thing? Someone screaming that they don't care. Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah. Well,
There you go.
we get it every day when we post stuff on Kiss's website and
I do it
on
all
our
the time,
Facebook.
by the way.
Well,
I don't care.
They write.
Okay, Steve, keep telling yourself that.
No, but if you take the time to write that on a Facebook comment, you cared enough to write. And don't be that person. Like, I always love it when we post a funny blog that Jesse's written. Jesse does all her blogs, and they're all very funny. And
You do a great job.
you do a great blog,
they're
man.
funny.
You really do.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is that people will write, and they won't even look at the article. You can tell, because otherwise they'd be like, LOL, this was hilarious. They'll go, isn't Kiss supposed to be a legitimate news site? No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's a top 40 radio station. We are not at 680 News, our sister station down the hall, legitimate news site.
It is, you know
fun.
what? People go, oh, nice reporting. You call yourself a reporter? And the thing is, people used to tweet that at reporters. And now it just gets tweeted at everyone, and the person has to go, no.
Yeah,
Someone actually
mad at us for writing about like the latest taco fest. It's like,
Yeah.
that's what we're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah, we're supposed to talk about
tacos.
We don't have to all hit the hard hitting issues. We can just let some people do that.
But again, we're just reasoning with
Madness.
anger.
So anyway, rest in peace. First Take. We're gonna miss you. It's not over yet, but we are gonna miss you because honestly, I thought those two were brilliant together. As long as you didn't believe a word any of them said.
Just came up with a new title for the show with Katie Nolan and Skip Bayless, Garbage Take.
But Katie Nolan's really smart.
Yeah,
But
That's the only problem.
Garbage time and First Take.
But that's
Garbage Take.
That's even that's the whole with Katie Nolan and Skip Bayless is that Katie Nolan is very intelligent and has some very intelligent arguments. Stephen A.
can't have
Smith
that.
met Skip Bayless on the dumbass meter. You know, like, oh, you want to like you know when you've heard the expression "don't sink to his level." Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith were digging deeper holes. Oh yeah, you think you can reach the center of the earth? No, I'll reach it first.
Do you ever see the Pokemon episode where Ash got his Charizard back so it could fight another Charizard?
yeah.
That's what it was.
Bingo. Hey, do we have a What's Up in Liberty Village today?
Do.
All right,
We do.
let's do it because I know Steve's got to get out of here fairly soon.
Give me one second.
Oh, yeah, shoot. Going to Game 3. Marley's Bridgeport Sound Tigers.
We're gonna do a couple of these.
Oh, by the way, for the remainder of the playoffs for the Marlies, and we set this out yesterday, and I realized there was a problem with the poster because it said "click here" and a bunch of people clicked here. and they were really upset. They were really upset about the fact that they clicked here and it didn't lead them anywhere. And they're like, "But how do I do it?" Marlies.ca, guys. If you use the promo code Steve Dangle, one word. You get to buy tickets at up to 30% off. We hooked that up with the Marlies. Thank you to Cole from the Marlies for hooking that up. Great dude. And by the way, if I happen to post a poster and it says click here and you can't click here, I think you could figure it out from
Also,
there.
read the poster that I'm pretty sure said Marlies.ca. But be quick because there are limited tickets available.
And by the way, to the person that tweeted that, I think you'll get over the fact that there might be a spelling error from time to time. But no.
we kind of bungled this a little.
It's us! What are you...
You can't click the poster. There's typos.
Do you think Jesse ever gets disappointed when we do something right?
It's less content for him.
Here.
All the time.
Listen, we have set the bar low enough that you should expect this from us by now. Okay? If you don't know me by now, you will never, ever
Click
know me.
this JPEG. It goes nowhere.
Anyway, Jesse, what's up in Liberty Village?
First of all, everybody go donate to my CWHL gift page.
Bullshit.
because
Do it after you
Adam
donate to
has
mine.
enough money.
I'm well over 50%. Thank you to everybody that's donated. Wild Nation. Hashtag Wild Nation coming out full force. Wild Nation.
You don't need any more money. First, we have a
not
post
going to
from,
me.
from Mike. Mike just wants everybody to know about the awesome breakfast he had. He just simply posted awesome breakfast and took a picture of his food.
Okay, well,
There's no context.
Shall we get into what Mike had for breakfast?
Yeah, you guys can
he has a nice little.
dive deep
What do
into
we
that.
got there, Steve? We got a salad.
Oh my goodness, I have no idea. I think I might get you to look at
Okay.
that. Well, first of all, look at the design. Look at the grill marks on that. I believe focaccia bun.
Yeah, so he put his focaccia bun on the barbecue. He's got what looks to be some sort of chicken or something, plus a salad, a Greek salad with bocconcini. You're mixing Italian and Greek, sir. You are
question.
wrong. There's Italian and Greek in that.
Who does this help?
Well, I would like Adam to read the comments because maybe that's who it helps.
Well, the first one is FAWK, F-A-W-K, but there's a few extra A's and a few W's.
That's how good that breakfast is.
Second, somebody wrote, "My pleasure." ... I'm assuming that the person that wrote "My pleasure" is either Mike's boyfriend or girlfriend. I can't tell because the person's name is Desart. D-E-S-A-R-T. I don't know I don't know.
Okay.
And then Amrita writes, "Love the food." Oh, it's at Chow Europa Cafe.
Oh, he did tag the location.
He tagged the location.
Okay.
Oh,
See, here's
so
the
we're
thing
just
about-
dicks then.
Let me tell you again.
fucking breakfast.
Livigians are hipsters, but they're also foodies. So they
We're
want you to
criticizing,
know.
Look at this restaurant quality looking food
He didn't make it
that he got
himself.
at a restaurant.
All right.
What a
we
bunch of
have to. We have to go into Charlie.
Okay, what's
Feel a little bad for Charlie,
Charlie?
but he also has a serious issue. Charlie writes, random question. Does anybody have a cane they don't use that I could buy, rent, or borrow? I broke my toe and would like to be stylish about it. If you're in Liberty, my partner can come grab it.
You know what? You started saying that, and I'm like, oh
I'm like, yeah, this isn't good.
no, he just wants to be
He just wants a cane. Poor guy.
handsomely injured.
Caroline wrote, if
then-
you don't find a cane, I have some pretty sweet crutches. Thanks.
For I don't know. I've never broken a toe.
Hold on. No. Because I thought until you said I want to be stylish about it, I was cool.
Okay.
I was down. And then I don't know. I'm not.
I just think it's weird.
I do think that's
Why
weird.
are you posting on a
Whatever
public
happened
forum?
to Kijiji?
You know,
Well, it exists, and so does Craigslist. Also, canes not expensive.
Yeah, can't you just get them from a doctor?
Well,
Don't we live in Canada?
yeah, but I don't think you get canes for free. You don't get crutches for free.
not? I was told everything is for free.
The doctor's free. I think that the
Socialism
equipment.
doesn't work.
Mike has our post of the week. Hey, everyone. Looking for a hot tub in Liberty Village. I'm an amateur bodybuilder and relied heavily on one at my old gym for a good recovery after each workout. I'm now very sore. All over. No, he went ... all over. Good Life doesn't have one. My building doesn't have a pool. Any ideas? No comments, no likes.
Even they don't like him.
That sounded a lot like he was trying to be coy about something.
I think he's soliciting.
I didn't
soliciting.
say that.
If you are,
I didn't
I am
say
an
that.
amateur bodybuilder, and if you are a young, attractive female, I sure would like to take a bath.
And I'm sore. ...
All
Over.
Well, I'm sure he's referring to his calves. And sir, as someone with awesome rocking calves myself, I sympathize.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my bread and butter. The calves.
Beshini wants to know if anyone's selling their Sporting Life 10K registration.
What? See, these are
Okay, so you're trying to
too
buy your way.
mundane to even react to.
You're buying your way into a charity race. Sign up for another charity race.
Is that what she's doing?
That's a 10K
She started
marathon.
off her post with, "Hey neighborinos, anyone selling their 10K
Ned.
Sporting Life
Okay,
registration?"
you couldn't just go. Well, there are. By the way, we live in
Ms.
Toronto, which is
Flanders.
the city of charitable runs. You couldn't find another one?
We shut down major arteries into the city for these things. for weekends at a time.
And we have very limited weekends where you can do that, by the way. So, by the way, it happens all the freaking time here in the summer, and it drives people up the wall.
No, it drives people up Bayview because they can't take the DVP.
And you know what? There's 4 different people selling their Sporting Life 10K registration.
Okay.
Karen said, I can sell you mine. Melly tagged her friend Nicole, who's selling hers. And then Nicole also commented, I'm selling mine if anyone else is interested. And Jamie said, hi, Nicole. PM me. I would like it.
Is Liberty Village like its own...
It's its own
place,
world.
like the Vatican, kind of like it's
Vatican
its
City.
own thing. I know it's in the middle of Italy, but it's its own thing.
Yeah, it is. It wouldn't shock me if they voted to secede from the Canadian Union. Like if they
the Vatican.
Yeah, the Live Vatican. I like it. Wow. Liberty Village.
Sporting Life 10K registrations.
That is really
up for grabs. There's many of them. That's it.
If
Manu also is looking for specifically a 50-inch TV. If anyone is selling theirs.
Sick.
That's it.
God.
I would like to do the press conference.
Let's do it.
Do. What's up in Live Vidge? That's our theme song.
Is that our theme song?
Yes. First question.
Sorry, Jesse. It's just I liked it when they were weird. Now they're just kind of boring.
That's what was up today.
Oh my God. See,
we're
they're
just
just kind of nice people going about their lives.
Yeah.
And by the way, I got to admire the woman's dedication who wants to buy her way into a charity race. You already have to raise money, and now she's paying money to someone else to get in.
If it's a Pittsburgh San Jose Cup final, rooting for Phil or James?
James.
Okay.
No hesitation.
James.
Nope.
But it would make people more mad if Phil won. So there's that.
Where are Phil Kessel's hot dogs now? That would be a great headline.
Dude, and I keep thinking of the Instagram post. He's just got to reach into that cup and pull out a hot dog. Or he's got to walk up to a hot dog stand in Toronto with the cup.
I hope he does it. I hope he does it.
Walks outside the Toronto Sun building with the cup. Yeah!
It's right near my house, by the way.
If Colorado ends up signing Radulov, do they immediately become the most dysfunctional organization in the NHL?
No. How dare you?
I don't think so.
The Sens, the Habs,
the Canucks, the Columbus Blue Jackets, they all exist.
Mostly Canadian teams. Oh yeah.
I don't think Colorado is that dysfunctional. And actually, Wild fans would say their organization is giving everybody else a run for their money, even though they make the playoffs. I don't think the Avalanche are dysfunctional. I just think they're wrong.
Yeah, no, that's not even bad.
I think it's just a disagreement of my perspective and then their perspective.
And talented players, most of them.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
I think they're wrong in their direction.
If Morgan Riley was a flavor of chips, what flavor would he be?
Ooh. Let me think about that.
All dressed because he's the full package.
The first comment is all dressed. There's no undressing the Mo.
That's even better. No undressing the Mo.
I'm going to go with sweet Thai Doritos.
Not sweet chili heat?
Sorry, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Sweet chili heat. Because, he's got that heat. But if you look at him, he's just so sweet. And also, everyone likes him. Did you notice that everyone likes sweet chili heat?
Yes. You're making me want Doritos now, and that's really not a good thing. So we move on?
I'm probably going to get Doritos later today.
Like chips.
What's the matter with you?
I don't really like
You don't like chips?
No, I gave them up for Lent when I was like 14, 15, and I never got back into them. I've never been.
I never
Talk
got
about
back.
it like it's smoking.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a comic book. It's a.
I just
You've been to that many parties, and maybe that's why Jesse hasn't come to your parties because there are bowls of chips evereverywhere, and he can't stand the temptation.
And he's a recovering chipaholic.
Yeah, I have my 10 chip.
Do you eat?
That's a great reference.
10 chip. Oh my God, that was really good, but that hurt me a little bit.
Been 10 years since I had chip.
First of all, I'd just like to congratulate Jesse on being a dad. Like, I had no idea. Idea. Congratulations, Daddy-O. Oh, my God.
Damn, dude.
Next question?
Yep.
Who would win in a fight? Nick Kyprios or George Stroumboulopoulos?
Kipper. No offense to Strombo.
No, I think Strombo would say Kipper.
You know what's funny? We did.
Who would win in a freestyle battle?
George.
I don't know.
Kipper's got lines, man.
He does. That's what I mean.
Lines.
Like George is he's a very, very intelligent man. But Kipper, he's chirped an entire career.
He can roast.
true.
He can roast. Kip Rails, when we took that picture together last year, where he's holding me, pretending like he's going to punch me, it was funny and it was for funsies. But there was an element where I'm like, he's letting me live now, and that's just his decision. He's deciding to let me live at this moment.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, his fists are still large and hardened from all those years of breaking.
So the crowd in the Coliseum is going, kill, kill, kill. And he's like, no, because I'm Russell Crowe and I decide no.
Or as
I am the gladiator.
Boy, I'm a Spaniard by cricky.
Should they have a separate trophy for the best offensive defenseman?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I think you do best defenseman and then, they don't even have a best forward, but most of the forwards win all the trophies anyways. You don't really need one. And
you've got the Selke.
You got the Selke and the Rocket Richard and the Art Ross. I think...
Should the Selke just be called best forward?
But isn't it best two ends? Best of two ends?
It's best two-way forward,
Defensive.
but how many ends are in the game?
If there's a best two-way forward, it would make sense that there would be a best two-way defenseman, right?
Well,
I mean, why do we have a two-way forward if there's not... I agree.
I suppose that's true, but okay.
You
The guy who wins the heart... Sorry?
Adam talked himself into the other side of the argument.
I did.
The guy who wins the heart...
I skipped Bayless to my Stephen A. Smith.
The guy who wins the heart of the Rocket Richard is often in the running for the...
Art Ross.
The guy who wins the Art Ross is what I meant to say. Or the Rocket Richard is often in the running for the heart. Right? But they're almost never nominated for the Selke as well, which is best two-way forward. So what is it? You're the best one-dimensional player.
You're the
NHL.
best Mike Pekka of that year.
No, that's the Selke.
Oh. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right. So what is the heart then? The best one-dimensional forward.
No, the heart is the most valuable to their team.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Overall.
Wouldn't the most valuable player be the one who's most valuable at both ends of the ice?
Not necessarily.
No.
Not necessarily. Because that excludes goalies.
But let's pretend a forward wins the heart, okay?
Yeah.
But they're not even nominated for the Selke. What does that say about the player who won the heart? And what does that say about the player who won the Selke?
Here's what I would say.
One is better defensively.
You want to honor
But he's not as good offensively.
You want to honor more than a couple players at the end of the season for having good years, right? Okay? It's like when Kanye got on stage and interrupted Taylor Swift. The reason they gave Taylor Swift that award is because Beyonce did have, at that point, the best video of all time, but they were saving the award for that for best award at the end of the show, the big award right after Beyonce performed. Right? That's what they were doing. The MTV Awards is smart because they were like, yeah, because at that point, Taylor Swift was not the biggest artist in the world. She was an up-and-comer and had a massive fan base. And if Kanye had any intelligence, he would have realized that and gone, oh yeah, because they're saving Beyonce's award for later. Right? That's what the NHL is doing. They're like, you were good and you were good.
Are you saying the Selke is best original screenplay?
Yeah, sure.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Whoa, so best original screenplay, so I had the best movie. Well,
and we like
no. You had the.
We like to honor the guys that put on their hard hat and get their lunches and they go to work.
Yeah, like Patrice Bergeron. Like he doesn't fit that. Like he doesn't fit the archetype of that. Let's just call it the Jonathan Taves Award and then never give it to him. I don't know. I don't know. All we would be doing is inserting another. Here you go. Another bone throw of an award. I don't disagree. I agree with you that there's merit to it, but it's just another award that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Can I be honest with you? None of them mean anything. And I honestly, sorry, I'm Steven and Skip right now. But let me just say this. There are two things in the NHL I don't care about and would never miss if they left. The All-Star Game and the NHL Awards. I don't care.
I would miss the All-Star Game more.
Would you?
Also, I would miss.
Maybe it's a great event. Maybe I think the All-Star Game, you got to be there. because I don't think it translates. I really don't. I don't think it translates on television. It's better this year, 100%. Even taking John Scott out of the mix, that was a great idea, and damn, good on him.
In the last 18 months, I got to go to the All-Star game and the Winter Classic, and they were both the shit.
And I think, so fair. If they're
the shit.
Then
But
if it's
on
that
TV,
good...
99% of people weren't there.
It's...
So
I guess
maybe more than that.
Maybe I would care more too if a Leaf was nominated for something. But we're so bad all the time. That's probably why I don't care. I've been trying to figure this out. I'm like, why don't I care more about, like, Carey Price winning the Vezina in the Hart? I'm like, good for him. Honestly. But honestly, if I were to reach down and be honest, I think it's because, like, I was legitimately upset the year Cujo was nominated for a Vezina and didn't win. Because that year he was the best goalie in the NHL and they still gave it to Brodeur. Or something, or walk.
It's still real to me, damn it.
That pissed me off. Maybe that's what it is.
I'm trying to think of the last Leaf to win an award, and it was either Alex McGillney for the Lady Byng, or...
What's that award for? Gentlemanly, right?
Did Kessel win
sportsmanship.
the year he came back?
He won the Masterton, but he was with the Bruins.
Oh, shit.
And I think Sundin might have won the Marc Messier Award for leadership, which, by the way, what the...
Is that an award?
That award. Exactly.
I didn't realize that was an award. This is
What
how
is
much I'm not
that?
paying attention to that.
Why is there a Rocket Richard for most goals and not something for most assists? A Gretzky.
That I have always thought is like a glaring weakness. And I do think, if you're going to have the distinction of the best two-way forward, you should have the best defensive defenseman or defenseman that doesn't score the most points.
One-dimensional defenseman. You're the best one-dimensional defenseman.
So you're the best at one thing. What's wrong with that?
Yes, Rocket
Steve.
Richard, you're the best at scoring goals.
Yeah,
and nothing
that's
else.
a one-dimensional award.
Yeah.
I am for
Vezina,
it.
you're the best goalie.
I am for it
Like,
just for the fights.
isn't there a best
Everyone's
backup
just
goalie
going to be
trophy?
so upset with this award.
Is there a best backup goalie?
Who's the
No,
best
no.
defensive defenseman
There's-
in the NHL?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Drew Doughty.
Fuck.
Imagine he wins that.
That's his best original screenplay. He wins it every year. They never give him the Norris.
I don't think there's anything wrong with rewarding one dimension of the game that someone is the best at. I don't think there's any problem with that.
Do
I don't
you
get
care
it.
about the baseball MVP award now that Josh Donaldson won it last year?
Because that's one thing, right? They have one award and it's that.
No,
and
they
then,
have a whole bunch of
They've got
awards.
gold gloves
They
and
have
stuff like
Silver
that.
Sluggers.
I think he deserved it.
Yeah.
I've never not cared about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually care about the baseball one
You
than I
said,
do the hockey
you
one,
said
which
you
is
didn't
weird.
care because there was no Leafs involved. So do you care about the Blue Jays?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, not too much.
Yeah.
If he got robbed, I think maybe I would have cared more. It's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's actually a really good point. Yeah.
I don't really know what it is with the NHL award. Maybe it's because I've watched a lot of bad NHL award broadcasts.
Hey,
Maybe it's because they're never that good to watch.
Are you going to be at the draft lottery on Saturday? It's here, isn't it?
if it's in the CBC building like it was last year, then yes.
Oh.
That's where I plan on being this Saturday.
By the way, Will Arnett is hosting this year, right? The NHL Awards?
That's who it is. I was trying to think of the name.
That will be good because I love Will Arnett. I will watch for Will Arnett. He's the man.
So are you going to try and touch the ping pong balls?
I'm going to try to do more than I did last year. No, I'm not going to try to
don't touch the ping pong balls.
So I think that is in a hotel.
Oh.
That whole process is done in a hotel, and they just bring the results to CBC, I think.
So Batman won't be in the building with you?
Because that happens in Toronto. Imagine crossing the street, they just get mobbed. like you might want to have security.
They
there.
have an envelope that showed that the Leafs won.
Yeah.
They just pull a Brinks truck up to the hotel. All right, now we got to drive 2 blocks.
But then it's like the Italian Job where they put the Brinks truck into the subway system and then it disappears. And Edward Norton's in a helicopter. Like, where's my truck? Where's my truck? Have you guys seen that? I mean, am I getting
that
it?
movie's like 15 years old.
Hey, that movie freaking rocks. Okay.
It was all right. It was the best commercial I've ever seen for the Mini Cooper.
My household has a Mini now, so screw yourself.
Well, there
okay.
you go. That's why you like the movie
I'm
so
a
much.
slave to corporate marketing, sir.
Well,
We're out of questions.
yeah, we're out of questions.
I figured. No, NHL awards we'll watch this year. We'll see. I don't know.
I hope to go again. That'd be sick. I mean, it was in Vegas, and I got to talk to PK. Like,
That's awesome.
that's a cool experience. I would like to do that again. Always.
My instant thought with that is, what was he wearing? Because he's always so well dressed.
He had like 19 suits that he brought because he was the co-host as well. Remember?
Right.
I think it was a khaki colored suit he wore for our interview. Probably his least flashy suit for me, but that's okay. I'll be your least flashy suit, PK. It's fine. You're cool.
By the way, I'm noticing with Steve's shirt that it looks awfully similar to his TV shirt that he bought, only a different color. So I'm wondering, is it the same shirt as your TV shirt that you actually bought, only a different color?
Probably. No,
it's not?
I got this from Old Navy, and the TV shirt I think came from the Gap. So
All right. I just thought it looked a lot.
Sort of an adult.
All right, so we will watch the NHL draft lottery this weekend with trepidation.
And the NFL draft tonight.
I can't wait for that because that
Rams.
they do it right.
Yeah.
It is glitzy and glamoury, and Johnny Manziel walks out with his money. It's good times.
Ram it. Do you know how to ram it?
Yeah, who will they
Ram
draft? And Jesse's wearing his Rams Sam Bradford jersey. That worked out.
Got to represent for the St. Louis Rams.
Before we end the show,
Okay,
seeing as this is the last show
before we know for sure.
before the draft lottery,
Oh God, now I'm nervous. I'm
gonna run it 3 times.
No.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna run it.
Okay.
Oh, Jesse's got to get record on the camera. I'm gonna run it, and I'm gonna reveal them third to first.
Okay.
With the 3rd overall pick, the Arizona Coyotes. With the 2nd overall pick, the Calgary Flames. And with the 1st overall pick, they did not have good odds of winning. In fact, they had the second they had a 2% chance of winning. The Carolina Hurricanes. What? Sleep tight, Leaf fans. Sleep tight.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by